just wanted to review a few questions from yesterday's work. So looking at number 4, we know that, number 5, during the day the temperature on the surface of Mars rises at a rate of 9 degrees every hour. So if it rises 9 degrees every hour, how much would it rise in 2 hours? Well, that would be 2 times 9, which is 18. In 3 hours, 3 times 9, which is 27. And in n hours, in an unknown amount of hours, we know that it's 9 times the number of hours, so 9n. So writing an expression, if we know that the surface of Mars is negative 60 degrees at 9 a.m., we start at negative 60 degrees and we add 9 degrees for every hour that it goes up. So that's the expression that we would use. So using that, if we wanted to know what the temperature was at 12, that's 3 hours later. So we use our formula that we created over here. So negative 60 plus 9 times 3 is equal to negative 60 plus 27, and that's equal to negative 33. For part D, it asks us what the temperature is at 6 a.m. So that's 3 hours before. So that's why the value that we substitute in for n is negative 3, because it's 3 hours before the 9 o'clock. And then we get negative 87 degrees. Okay, here's the answer for question 6. I'm turning over the page. I've done a few of these on number 8. So you can check and make sure that you're doing those correctly. Again, that's where the adding and subtracting integers comes in. So just to review this one here, we have negative 10 over 2. And then instead of plus negative 4, we're just going to say minus 4. So when we simplify negative 10 over 2, we get negative 5. When we simplify plus and negative, we get minus 4. So negative 5 minus 4 gives us our negative 9. And T and U are done the same way. All right, so I wanted to look at patterning in algebra 8-17 today. We're looking at solving equations using a guess and check method. So you are to complete the chart using the information given. So the equation is negative 3 times n, and the top column here is telling you what n is. So if n is negative 5, it's negative 3 times negative 5, which is positive 15. If n is negative 4, it's negative 3 times negative 4, which is positive 12. And so this continues 9, 6, 3, 0, negative 3, negative 6, negative 9, negative 12, and negative 15. Okay, for the second column, the equation is negative 3 times n minus 5. So if we have our n value at negative 5, negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15, and then we're going to subtract 5. So you'll notice that this is an extension of the one from here. So essentially we're taking our answer from this first part and we're subtracting 5. So we can either go ahead and substitute in for each of them, or we can recognize the pattern that from this number here we're always subtracting 5. So we would know that that is 7. 4, 1, negative 2, etc. And you can fill in the rest. So now using the chart, we want to solve for negative 3n minus 5 is equal to 7. So you're going to look in your chart. You're going to find when the answer is 7, and negative 4 is the answer that gives you negative 7. Again, the equation's negative 3 times n minus 5 is equal to negative 20. well, we have to complete the chart in order to do that. So if we completed the chart, we'd get -5, -8, -11, -14, -17, and -20. So which n value gives us -20? Well, -20 is here, and that happens when n is 5. So n is equal to 5. So you can use the chart that you created in order to solve for the rest of these. Okay, so question 2 asks you to do the same thing. So here's the equation, here's what they're saying x is, and then here's the answer to that. And then in part B again, it's similar to this. Use the chart in order to solve for that. Okay. In number 4 here, we're using a different method called guessing and checking. So we're going to solve for n by guessing small values for n, checking, and then revising. So let's say we let n equal 1 in this particular question. Well, 1 minus 2 is -1 times -3 is going to give us not 12. So obviously 1 doesn't work for that. So what they're asking you to do is just guess what n might be, see if it's true, and then try to revise your answer so that it is true.